Good evening from Southeast Asia. We're doing alien humanoid reports out of Germany tonight. I lived in Thailand a long time. They they don't say Germany. I don't. Maybe they can't. I don't know. Germany. I don't. They say Germany. I tried to fix it with a million different girlfriends. They couldn't get it. Okay, whatever. Okay, we're doing alien reports out of Germany, except one. First one here comes out of Killdeer, North Dakota, and the reason we're doing it is because it mentions Germany. So we're just going to do that turkey thing, get it out of the way. I don't know if it's any good or not. Might be. I'm not sure. I've got a database of 9,400 of these reports of alien encounter things, touching, probing, kissing, things like that. A lot of them are crap. Some of them are really good. Okay, here we go. Near Killdeer. And I'm not sure that's a name you want to be famous for. I don't know, maybe. Okay, North Dakota. Date is 1932. Time is evening. Leo Dworshak. Could that be Polish? Dworshak. I don't know, maybe. And his brother were playing in an isolated area, reported. That's not really a correct sentence there, is it? Leo Dworshak and his brother were playing in an isolated area, reported seeing a strange craft landing nearby. An invisible force field apparently kept him and his brother from approaching the craft. They watched the strange machine rotate in a complicated way. It had flashing colored lights on an outer shell, like a band or a belt that circled the vehicle at its widest point. The inner shell seemed to be standing still or perhaps turning the opposite way. It was totally silent and produced no cloud of exhaust, fumes, or smoke. The ship left but returned the next night. On this night, the aliens, which Dworshak described as very much resembling humans but looking very much like each other, almost like twins, invited the brothers on board the object. After being disinfected, the aliens gave them a tour of the craft. They also showed them the future, one that foretold of the home computer and the rise of Nazi Germany. That's our Germany connection. The aliens told the boys that humanity would shun their experience. They also told Dworshak that they hailed from the 12th galaxy and that they kept 12 of their kind on Earth at all times. Inside the spacecraft, Dworshak remembered seeing chairs that would move to accommodate guests at the pointing of an alien finger. The ship itself had a force field, allowing it to go invisible when needed. Leo again reiterated, one alien looked very much like the next. There's no notes on this. Now, we're going to go through this thing again slowly, and we're going to nitpick it to death. We're going to become anal retentive assholes. And we're looking for bullshit. We're looking for things that don't work, logic that doesn't compute. And we're going to try to disprove the whole thing. That's what we do. That's our whole purpose in life. Okay, so you're Killdeer, North Dakota, 1932, long time ago. I don't think even vaguely remotely there was any thought of computers. And we had the IBM punch cards when I was a kid, or 1932, but it was well, let's see, we had them in fourth grade. They popped up in fourth grade. What year would that be? That would be like 1962, something like that. But anyway, not in 1932. Okay, so evening. Dworshak and his brother were playing playing in an isolated... They don't say how old they are, do they? that's a kind of a big factor. I mean, if there are 4, the credibility kind of tanks. They saw a strange craft landing nearby. An invisible force field apparently kept him and his brother from approaching the craft. Okay, that's pretty commonly... No, it's not. I was going to say it's pretty commonly reported. It's not commonly reported. It's reported sometimes. The reports contain all kinds of descriptions of things, reasons why the people can't approach or they don't want to approach or something. Some of them describe things like force fields that just, maybe you hit like a brick wall. It's an invisible brick wall. You want to walk over and look at the thing, but you can't because there's a invisible brick wall. You can't get there. In some cases, people have reported that the closer they get, the harder it becomes to move. Like they're in Jello. They're trying to walk in Jello, something like that. Okay, they watched the strange machine rotate in a complicated way. That's also commonly reported. I have seen videos. I don't look at videos anymore of objects because with AI, you have no clue what's real and what's not. And there's, I just don't even look at them anymore. But there are some old videos that would have been really, really hard to fake of machines or something coming down and moving in ways that the human brain cannot describe. You think about the old, I can't remember my Bible. There was a passage in Ezekiel. He's talking about a craft that comes down and it has a wheel within a wheel. And, since then, 2,000 years ago, people have been trying to puzzle that through. What exactly is a wheel within a wheel? We don't know, really. Lots of speculation. Lots of people have made drawings and paintings, and nobody really knows. Because I think he was describing something that he probably shouldn't have been describing. He just, the math didn't work in his brain. They watched the strange machine rotate in a complicated way. It had flashing colored lights on an outer shell, like a band or a belt that circled the vehicle at its widest point. Okay. I don't understand why so many of these craft things have to light themselves up. I mean, they're not navigation lights. They're not anti-collision lights. I'm really sure that's not the case. Why do they have these lights? I do not know. I mean, I can't be expected to know. The inner shell seemed to be standing still. Inner shell. God, the description is just bad. I wish there was a drawing. Or perhaps, wait, it had flashing colored lights on an outer shell like a band or belt that circled the vehicle at its widest point. The inner shell seemed to be standing still or perhaps turning the opposite way. It was totally silent and produced no cloud of exhaust fumes or smoke. The ship left, but returned the next night. That seems kind of weird, doesn't it? That something would go away and then come back at the same exact spot the next night. It seems weird, but it's reported a lot. And when I was a kid, our neighborhood, the whole farming area, saw this phenomenon that went on for a number of weeks every night, for weeks. So, why do they have to return to some particular spot? Well, we don't know. On this night, the aliens, which Dvorak described as very much resembling humans, but looking very much like each other, almost like twins, invited the brothers on board the object. How? How did they invite him? They speak into English? They speak into German? How are they invited? Telepathy? Google Translate, how are they doing it? I suppose they could have just gestured by hand. You got to be really careful doing that around the world. I did it a lot in Thailand for about a decade before somebody finally straightened me out. What I was doing was in America and other Western countries, if you want someone, a kid or something, to come over to you, maybe you're going to give them a little coin to go to the store or whatever, you would hold your hand probably kind of palm up and use a couple of fingers or all your fingers to do a kind of a come hither, come here, come towards me, please, like that. And I did that, and the kids never would. They would give me this sour look, and sometimes they ran away. And I thought, what in the hell? What in the hell? And then finally, it was almost 10 years before somebody took pity on me and explained it. You don't do that in Thailand, paisano. That's considered a sexual gesture. How would I know? If you want somebody to come towards you, you put your hand up, palm down, and you make your little fingers point like to the earth. I was doing like this, like, come on. No, God, that'll get you slapped and maybe worse. No, you go like this, come here like this. That means come here, please. Okay, so I don't know how, if you're an alien, you're going around planet to planet, 100 different cultures in a day. I don't know. You'd have to be pretty clever, to be able to get that message across without getting smacked. After being disinfected. Okay. Sounds weird. It's fairly commonly reported. Sometimes the disinfecting procedures are nasty, like make you throw up, stuff like that, make you sick for days. Sometimes they gas them in a room, sometimes they hose them down, sometimes they run some lights over them. It's very interesting that they would disinfect them. We could talk about that for an hour. After being disinfected, the aliens gave them a tour of the craft. Okay, being given a tour of the craft is fairly common. Not really, really common, but fairly common. Out of 9,400 reports, how many got a tour? I don't know, but a lot. More than a few handfuls. They also showed them the future. Okay, that sounds right there like that's enough to disqualify the whole damn report. Well, no, it's not. This is reported again and again and again and again. E equals MC2, It can be done. We just can't do it. Just because we can't do it doesn't mean it's impossible. Do I want to go into this story now? You think, okay. For those of you who think that predicting the future is impossible, as I did, I don't know if you should listen to this little aside or not. It's true. I don't know who should even listen to this. Okay, I'll tell the story really, really quickly. My wife was German, 40 years married. Strong, tough little girl, tough as they come. Anyway, we were at a camping in a campground down in Arizona, Flagstaff, Arizona. And we'd actually been there for, 2 or 3 weeks. We were waiting for a house to come available, so we had to camp in this campground. We had really comfortable stuff. It was a really comfortable place to be. And every morning we would get up and we would walk down, I can't remember, 100 or 200 yards, maybe to the big breakfast restaurant thing. And we would go down there and get pancakes and all kinds of good food and sit around, and it was nice. It was a pretty enjoyable place. It was a KOA, by the way, KOA. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. This was a nice one, Flagstaff, Arizona. Okay, so we got up this morning, got out of the tent. We walked about, 20, 30 feet. And my wife stopped me and she said, I had the strangest dream. And I said, yeah, okay, well, what? Tell me. We won the lotto. Yeah, that's it. She said, no. She said, we were walking somewhere in this dream, and she said it wasn't a normal dream. It was a very crystal clear dream. We were walking somewhere, and all of a sudden, People were screaming, just shrieking, screaming, running around, pandemonium. And she said, we were looking around trying to figure out what the hell they're screaming about. And then up in front of us, 50 or 70 yards ahead of us, a whole crowd went running like from right to left across our path and just running. And then she said right behind him was a huge orange, bright orange monster, like a monster from space. And it was running and something just flying and trying to get these people. And some of them tried to turn back and fight it, and stuff like that. And it just wasn't working out really very well. And then the whole scene moved off to the left and out of her range of vision in this dream thing. I thought, wow, that's maybe that lasagna last night, like, that'll do it. She said, no, it wasn't like that. It was just weird. And so we started walking again, and she was very, very puzzled by this. And she had a history of things like this. And so we walked about 50 yards and pretty much had forgotten this. We're talking about other things. Well, I had totally forgotten it. I just figured it was, bad lasagna dream. We've all been there. So this is looking, we're like 3 to 5 minutes later, walking. And all of a sudden we hear some people screaming, a lot of people screaming, yelling. And I didn't really connect it to her dream thing. She did. She stopped, just dead stuck, cold in her tracks. And her face went white and she's like, oh my God. Because she could see that whatever she dreamed / saw, this was it. This was the thing. And so we stopped and we're looking up ahead and we could hear the people screaming. And pretty soon they were passing in front of us from our right to our left, just like her dream thing. And I'm thinking, what the hell? I mean, we were in bear country. So, maybe some stupid little adolescent bear is chasing him, giving him a hard time, something like that. That's what I was thinking. She was thinking no orange monster from outer space. And it wasn't very long before we saw the orange monster. We actually saw it. Looked right at it. It kind of at an angle towards us. 45-degree angle towards us. So it was getting a little bit closer to us as it rolled from the right to our left. People running in front of it, and people were stopping and trying to tackle it or something. And it was just far enough away, and it was in the woods. It's all pine forests up there. And it was like bouncing off of the trees. And it was quite chaotic. And finally, it didn't take very long. Finally, I identified it for what it was, and she probably did too. It was a giant family-sized tent that had come uprooted from the campground off in the forest and was rolling through the trees toward the KOA. And it got to the fence that bordered the KOA, went over the fence, and that slowed the people down. So it just kept on going until people could get through the fence and over the fence. And it just went from right to left across our vision. And then at some point it fetched up against something where it couldn't move anymore. Now the total time from the time she had that dream thing until the time this event actually happened was probably, I'm going to guess 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours probably. Now you tell me, what are the odds that she just randomly had that sleeping dream / vision thing out of the blue? She had that vision while she's sleeping, kind of, and then 2 or 3 hours later, precisely that event occurred. Now you tell me, what are the odds that that's coincidence? Well, it could be. What do you think? Now, that coupled with a whole bunch of other experiences in my life convinced me that time travel may or not be possible. Looking into the time forward and or backwards is positively possible. Positively. We just haven't figured it out yet, but we will. And I think it's child's play for the aliens. I think for them it's about equal to having a Nintendo, just easy as pie. So here we go, back to the report. They also showed them the future. The aliens showed the boys the future. Here we go, people. One that foretold of the home computer and the rise of Nazi Germany. That's 1932, right? Yeah, 32. So the rise of Nazi Germany, it was kind of sort of rising in 32. Took a while before it really rose. But the aliens are saying, heads up, because it's really going to happen. And eventually you're going to have a thing called a home computer, and it's going to do amazing shit, and it's going to drive you crazy and make you want to smash it with a hammer. I know they didn't say that, but, chances are they knew. We're looking for credibility here, and we're looking for bullshit. And we'll give this thing a score at the end. The aliens told the boys that humanity would shun their experience. Well, that's pretty much dead on. Still are. They still are. Our stupid ass government comes out and they say, yeah, they're real. Yeah, they do. Yeah. No, they're not. No, forget it. Forget we said that. Well, really, yeah, they're real. No, wait a minute. Who said that? They just go back and forth. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay. They also told Dvorak. What was that TV series? Welcome Back, Kotter. What was that kid's name in there? Was it? No, it was Horshack. Okay. Okay. They also told Dvorak that they hailed from the 12th galaxy and that they kept 12 of their kind on Earth at all times. 12th galaxy. Say the aliens are notorious for using cryptic, stupid shit like that. 12th galaxy from what? From Zeta Reticuli? 12th galaxy out from Zeta Reticuli? Well, or 12th galaxy out from some other from the Milky Way? We don't know. And they seem to just sort of delight in being cryptic like that. They know that humans want an answer, but they don't want to give them an answer. So they just make up some shit that's so cryptic that nobody will ever figure it out. And then the humans are going, oh, okay, I guess I'm too stupid to understand. Okay, thank you, aliens. Hell. And that they kept 12 of their kind on Earth at all times. Okay. That's a really, really, really common theme among all these 9,400 reports and the communications that supposedly go back and forth. That various races keep, lookouts and studiers and researchers and things on Earth. That's what we would do if we could fit in on Zeta Reticuli. That's what we would do. Not sure I'd want to be one. Inside the spacecraft, Dvorak remembered seeing chairs that would move to accommodate guests at the pointing of an alien finger. Now, in 1932, that was impossible. That was not dreamed of. That was never going to happen. You ask every single person on Earth, could that ever happen? No, that's bullshit. Now it's here. It's here right now. We have little drones that can do, $100 drones can do that for kids in their room. There's, it's a simple manner to hook it up to a chair. Kind of a cool idea, really. If I had a big office I would do it. I would do that. And I could amaze the secretaries and like that. And they'd all want to have one. And I would say, F you, you're not old. And yeah. Okay. So these are not, chairs that'll do this are not mass marketed yet, but they probably will be. The ship itself had a force field allowing it to go invisible when needed. Okay, well, we're right there on the precipice of that. Now, if they're, let's say we're going to have that within 30 years. Now, the aliens are presumably, about 1 million years ahead of us if they got here. So, that's just child's play for them. They can probably make themselves look like anything they want. I'd want to look like if I had an alien ship and I was flying around and I wanted to amaze the natives on the ground and just going invisible, that wouldn't be any fun at all. What would I want to make it look like? Pterodactyl, flying Chewbacca. I mean, brainstorm it. Be a lot of fun. What would you want your giant alien ship to look like if you could make it look like anything at all? Just scare the bejesus out of the little peers down there on the ground. Okay, Leo again reiterated, one alien looked very much like the next. Okay, they're clones. It's all clones. It's going to come. No, it's not going to come. It's already here. It's already here. It's just not socially accepted yet, but it will be soon enough. Okay, so what we do with these things, we're only going to do this one report. What we do with these is we try to figure out if there's any credibility potentially to them. If there's none, if there's obviously none, if there's big flaws in the logic and shit like that, we just delete them and we say, F you into the corn, asshole, and they're gone. We never think about them again. But we got to be positive. There's no possible way there's any credibility to that report. And lots and lots of them meet that criteria. This one does not. This one, I have to say, there is potentially, possibly, credibility. Maybe a lot. Now, the way we've been doing this for far too long, I don't know how many years. We've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these podcast things. They started out audio only. I'm honestly getting kind of tired of using this method. It's kind of complicated. It doesn't have to be. Okay, the way we've been doing it is we have this imaginary bucket. Well, it's kind of imaginary. There's a picture of it on alienanalprobe.com. Go there, you'll see a picture of the bucket with the cat in it. And we imagined that when we get a report, we take a little pinch of sand. And if it has any credibility, we take a commensurate amount of that sand, we drop it in that bucket, and maybe someday that bucket is full of sand, and then we say, okay, we believe in aliens. Okay, so I give out little teeny amounts like 1 grain or, whatever. This one, I've given quite a bit because I like it instinctively. My bullshit meter is not going off. Everything in here fits with lots and lots and lots of other reports that I've covered and studied. And I don't think these kids are making this up in 1932. They weren't watching sci-fi movies, that's for damn sure. There were books, there were comics. A lot of the stuff that they describe here has held true all throughout the next almost 100 years. I don't think all the other people who told of these aspects of these encounters are, copying those two boys. How much credibility, how much sand can we give this thing? I can give a molecule, I can give half a grain, I can give a grain, I can give 5 grains. I'm giving this one, drum roll. I wish I had it. I got to get a drum roll sound effect. That's what I'll do. Because these decisions are momentous. All right, I get it. Let's go. Got a flashing colored lights. Skimming. I'm giving it 30 grains of sand. 30 grains of sand. That's huge. I hardly ever do that. 30 grains of sand is freaking gigantic. That means I really, really like it. 32, these kids are gone. That's too bad. What I wouldn't give to interview them and polygraph them and waterboard them, you know. Come on, you little shits, spit it out. I want that truth. Or bad things are going to happen to you. Okay, 30 grains of sand. All right, so that's it. We're only doing one for this episode. This is one. No. This is what episode is this? 292. I think we've changed our numbering scheme, you know, a few times over the years as the format of these things have changed. I think this was 292. I think so. I don't know. All tapes are copyright 2024 by stockphotosworldwide.com. Don't steal them. We'll sue you. We've done it before. We know the drill. We like it. It's fun. We get a lot of money. Don't steal them. Make your own content. I mean, really. No, really don't steal. We can use the cash. We'll say thank you. All right. We're done. Thank you very much. And good evening. How many cameras we got here? I don't even know what's working and what isn't. Thank you very much and good evening and good night.